Hello everyone. So today my topic is on entire journey on pharmacovigilance. So as this course started, I got to know personally. I got to know lots of things which I was unaware of, and now I'm really interested for telling these all things to you all. So basically, I got to know what are the clinical trials, preclinical trials. So in that, it is nothing but the testing of drug is done on the animals, and after that, by taking the permission from FDA, that is Food and Drug Administration, it is done on the clinical. It is done on the human subjects. So by studying the new drug before marketing. If it passes all the tests as per their rules and regulations and as per their criteria, so that drug passes. If that drug passes all the four phases, so in the clinical trials there are four phases of clinical trials, four, or we can say actually five phases of clinical trials. So first one is the in first phase, it is microdosing. Only the PK and PD parameters are checked over here on healthy volunteers, and further the safety and efficacy of a drug is studied in this phase. And further in phase 1, that microdosing was phase 0, and in phase 1 the healthy normal 50 healthy volunteers are taken, and overall the PK, PD and toxicology is studied in this phase. If the phase 1 clears the test, and further we proceed to the phase 2, that is therapeutic exploration phase. In that, the actual dose which is prepared for the to cure the some kind of disease, that kind of patient are been taken, and subjected, the dose is subjected in them, and the toxicity, safety, efficacy and side effects are observed in this phase. Then further, if this test clears, well, then we proceed for the phase 3, that is therapeutic confirmatory trial phase. And in this phase, the number of population increases, so that the study of test is done in a particular manner. So we actually get to know that on limited or in more number of amount of people can tolerate the dose or not, and what kind of result we are getting from the surveys and all. So after the confirmation, by giving the dose for around 1000 to 3000 people or patients, we can say that patients at a time, we can get really a good result and about the drug and the efficacy and side effects of the drug as well. So after that confirmatory, the post marketing surveillance takes place, and in this the information from the HCPs and doctors and nurse, and even by the patient and patient's relative, anyone can just describe any kind of adverse event which has taken place for that particular individual and all. And from this phase, the work for pharmacovigilance system actually starts. So this was all about the clinical trial and preclinical trials. So now proceeding towards the actual pharmacovigilance. So the definition of pharmacovigilance is nothing but the science and activity relating to the detection, assessment, understanding and prevention of any adverse event or any other drug related problems. And we can say that the main pharmacovigilance program of India was held at the year 2010, and the main objective of pharmacovigilance can be discussed as it is the reduction of frequency and intensity of the ADR or drug while maintaining their efficacy and quality at a time. And the quality of a drug depends on the pharmaceutical industries, and the regulatory authorities are responsible for their approval in the market and even withdrawal from the market if required. So the basic aim and scope of pharmacovigilance is to take the patient care, risk benefit management, public health and communication. So if the communication is done by taking the surveys and all, we get to know how the drug is working in the market and all. And the feedback report is collected from the surveys, and we really get to know what is the actual working system of the drug in the market. So after that, we got to know the regulatory authorities. So each and every country has their regulatory bodies respectively, and for India it is CDSCO, that is Central Drug Control, CDS Central Wait a minute. So for India's, it is CDSCO, that is Central Drug Standard Control Organization. For Australia, it is TGA, Therapeutic Good Administration. For Japan, it is Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare. For Canada, it is Health Canada. And for USA, it is FDA. USA FDA, that is Food and Drug Administration. For Europe, it is EMA, European Medical Agencies. And for Europe, it is MHRA, that is Medicine and Healthcare Product Regulatory Agencies. So this was all about the regulatory bodies and different countries. So today's scenario, as we get to know that the pharmaceutical industries are leading in a high manner, and that's why the requirement of regulatory bodies are really necessary, so that the proper guidelines and protocol can be followed by every country. So the main objective for the regulatory bodies is that to regulation, guidelines and compliance. So regulation is done by making law, making the law for following certain protocol, and guidelines are made to follow that protocol, and even compliance are made to check whether the protocol is followed or not, if it is necessary. So in compliance, there are two types the compliance is done. So inspection and audit. In audit, the audit when audit takes place, the people are being message, or the people have been conveyed the message with that tomorrow your audit will be done and be ready for it. And inspection, there is no any kind of message conveyed for the people from the pharmacovigilance, for the pharmacovigilance department, as the regulatory authorities can really come anytime, and they could just give or stand for the live inspection. So in audit, the any kind of record is been asked for them, and they have to just show the required record, and if there is some mistake, then the audit people who has come to take the audit, they will give a specific period of time to recover their answer and check it for themselves. And while in live inspection, the live action is taken if any kind of mistake is seen in or came into scene. So there is no time given for their correction and purpose. So there are different types of reporting. So there are different types of reporting ADRs. India's is SADRF, that is Suspect Adverse Drug Reaction Reporting Form. UK's is Yellow Card. US is MedWatch, and even Europe's is CIOMS. It is Council for International Organization of Medical Sciences. And the database for reporting and ADRs is FEARS, that is FDA Adverse Event Reporting Form. So in this, what happens that only 5% report is sent by the FDA department directly to the company, and rest all 95% reports are received by the manufacturing companies. Now talking about the different divisions of pharmacovigilance is that EMAC, that is to evaluate, to monitor, to analyze, to take action and to communicate. This is the different division of pharmacovigilance as well. And the reporting ADR software are such as US reporting ADR software is FarmReady, well as the Europe's is EV-Web, well as India's is Sugam, and UK's is MHRA Vigilance, and other countries still up to date does manually reporting of ADR system and all. So now we got to know something about ICSR. It is nothing but the individual case safety report, and it is done by any individual or on behalf of individual and all. So wait a minute. So on behalf of the patient, any individual can report such kind of ADR. So for in the pharmacovigilance terminology, we got to know the concept of day zero. So it is nothing but the day which is the day when the employees, affiliates, partners and the company is aware of the report, that is the ADR report, and that day is considered to be the concept of day zero. and they only the people are aware of that, and in that the case is really following the criteria, 4 minimum criteria. So now let's see what are the four minimum criteria. So the 4 minimum criteria is that the age, in that the gender initial comes along, and the age, identifiable patient, and identifiable reporting source, and identifiable a suspect medical product, identifiable reporting source, and at least one ADR. So these are the 4 criteria which fulfill the case to proceed, and can be considered as a ICSR. So now talking about the adverse reaction and adverse event. So adverse event is the thing that the relationship between the adverse reaction and the drug is unknown, whereas the adverse reaction is that the relationship between the drug and the adverse reaction is known, and it is hence it is caused due to the dose only. And anytime the dose can be administered, or the administration of dose can cause the reaction, is known as adverse reaction. So unexpected adverse reaction is that the nature or severity of the drug is not considered or mentioned in the dosage form, or in the package insert which is inserted in the dosage form. So this is the unexpected adverse reaction. Now coming towards the next point is that serious adverse event. So the serious adverse event is basically consist of the importance of it, or we can just pay attention to it. If the serious adverse reaction occurs, means it is life threatening, or it causes death, or it congenital anomaly or birth defect, or is of medical importance, or results in persistent or incapability of any organ. And so this is all about the pharmacovigilance terminologies. Now we get to know the ICH and working group of ICH. So there is a steering committee in which the MEDRA and global cooperation group, and even the secretariat and coordinates come under the steering committee and the working group. So these all are attached with each other and working in a proper manner. So the ICH was formed by following countries like Japan, Europe and USA. These countries came together and formed the ICH, and there were various regulations, rules and guidelines set up by themselves, and which really all the entire world should follow, and it's an easiest way, so that then there is not a lengthy process, and there is no such rules and laws to follow particular criteria for people living in his respective country. So by following their guidelines can really be a good protocol for us, and we could get what we want actually. So the steering committee was governing all the activities done in their working group and all, and these were all attached with each other, and this was the thing in ICH. Also we got to know the code of federal regulation, in that the title 21 consists of the food and drug administration, and everything related to the medical and licensing, giving permission, and anything related to the food and drug administration which was coming under the title 21 food and drug administration. Whereas we get to know the guideline on GVP, that is good pharmacovigilance practice. There were actually 16 modules in that, and module from module 1 to module 10 or module 11 all were having some specific guidelines to follow, and from module 11 to 15 module 15 they are still in ongoing process, and after some time it will be opened or displayed for everyone to read it. Then something we got to know about Argus and Medra, as Argus is nothing but an adverse reaction form. Case can be filed easily in that, and by following certain tabs and all we get to know the actual case, and there are many tabs in it. So by following all the tabs we can complete a complete a particular case, and the case can be filed by anyone, or patient's relatives, or any randomly person who has proved, or who has just witnessed the ADR taking place any play in any area. So it could be really a HCP, or it could be a pharmacist, or it could be a patient or himself, herself, or it could be a patient's relative. So anyone can file a complaint about an ADR, and the pharmacovigilance should be aware of it, and just by taking all the general information from the patient side, or the person who is giving the information, by asking him in detail questions, and by filling all the answers in it, the case can be proceeded further. And after that, medra, as we know that medra is used for medical dictionary for regulatory activities and all. And yes, this was all about the entire journey. Thank you.